Let's talk a little bit now about why I'm doing this. I'm doing this because I don't like what's going on. I'm doing this because from my own childhood, I'm a 65-year-old man. I had never thought that anything like this could exist. I was born 2 years after the death of Adolf Hitler. I grew up in the nightmare of people being abused, the horrors that existed in the prisoner of war camps. I grew up at a time when I felt like people wanted to help each other, not hurt each other. I believe I was delusional. I was entirely wrong. And amongst these lectures that you're going to be hearing, I'm going to show you the scientific proof back out of Yale, the Whitehall study out of London, Stanford, Berkeley, related to stress problems associated with the kinds of issues that take place in homeowners associations. I want to stop that. That was never what I wanted for my life. And it's never what I wanted to see. I receive calls literally from all over the United States and in some cases Europe where this is happening. Trailer parks, housing developments, condominium associations, townhouses, people being hounded for nickels and dimes and dollars and hundreds and thousands for something that they had no idea that they signed on to. I believe that at some point along the way, someone has to step forward and attempt to stop this. As I've said, to my knowledge, no such site exists to educate the public about this. I hope that I accomplish that task. What would I like to see happen when this is done? I would like to see an end to the abuse that's taking place in homeowners associations. I'd like to see people stop hurting each other. It was much to my surprise to learn that this is very much of who we are as human beings. The pleasure that we get from harming our fellow human beings. Now, your initial reaction to this might be, oh, wait a minute, Dr. Solomon, that's not true. We don't get pleasure from that. Well, one only has to look at entertainment such as extreme fighting, or talk shows, or comedy shows, or drama shows, where people are constantly hurting each other in the name of entertainment. The truth is that we're getting pleasure from doing this to each other. The other truth is that some people are profiting, making enormous profits, knowing that this is part of who we are. I'm going to take a moment now, and I'm going to try and design for you the way that the organization is set up to show you how it works. Let us assume for a moment that this represents the HOA. And in this HOA, we have a lot of houses. An HOA could be as small as 3 or 4 or 5 or 10, or it could be more. Now, the people in these HOAs ideally own their homes. But there are people who live in HOAs that rent them. They're residents, they have rights, and they have privileges, and all of those things. But over time, we've lost that flavor for that. And so we tend to look at the tenant as someone less than someone who owns the home in the HOA. But the truth is, someone owns that home, even if they've become a landlord. All right. The HOA contracts with the management company. And they say, management company, manage our community. And the HOA pays them money. Let's say $30,000. The HOA pays them $30,000 a year, $40,000 a year, $50,000 a year to become the parent of the HOA. Now, this management company will send letters of fines and fees and charges to the homeowners. And the homeowners don't particularly like that, and they send them back letters saying, that's not my responsibility, I don't owe you that, and now it starts. If you talk with most people, they will tell you how upset and disturbed they are by receiving these letters. And I'm going to talk about the psychological effect that this has over time. Now the fees and charges have built up. What was a $100 fine now becomes a $1,000 fine. Now, I'll sidestep here and tell you that those fines that you receive are not mandatory. They don't have to do that. They've been given the right by the local government, to allow them to fine, but they don't have to send you a $100 fine. They could send you a $5 fine. But in most cases, whether it be a plant on the ground or a weed or a door or whatever it is, everything is $100. Unless you live in a part of the country where it's $150, and then they'll charge $150. They will charge the maximum that they're allowed, even though the documents say that they are to be reasonable with this. The problem is that there's no profit in reasonable. All right. Well, the management company's now contracted with the collection company through the permission of the HOA. And now the collection company begins the process of collecting this money that's been charged you. But wait a minute. They're going to multiply the amount of money that you owe by 2 or 3 or 4 times. And within a relatively short period of time, if you don't pay it, whether you owe it or not, you're going to end up having a lien put on your home. So now there's a lien set up on your property. And that lien is for an amount of money that is claimed that it's owed, whether it's right or not, whether it's true or not, is irrelevant. You now have a lien on your property. So this represents the way the system works.